Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. On this episode, we're going to do another Starlight product. We just got done doing the Starlight Signature Bourbon. This is the Starlight Limited Release Double Oaked Bourbon Whiskey. So what this is, I'll just read it off the back here real quick. So same as the Signature Bourbon. You know, it's named after Carl Theodore Huber. After 4 years of aging in new charred American oak, this Carl T batch was transferred into unused, and I don't know this one, Seguin, Moreau, Vanilla, Toast Bourbon barrels to age an additional 6 months. This process provides intense oak notes, enhanced vanilla flavor, and mellowed rye spiciness. Okay, so Starlight, small pot still distillery in Indiana. And as you can see, color is pretty nice and intense on this bottle. So it has a little bit of additional age on it. This particular bottle also has a bit more proof, so it's 106 proof. It's aged 4.5 years, so it was 4 years in the original cask, another 6 months in the second cask, as per what we just read. So it is 53% ABV. This is batch number DB029. So let's get into this bottle here. Again, I'm not sure of distribution, but I believe it might only be available in Indiana. My wife picked this bottle up on her travels and picked it up for $59.99. So a little bit more spending. You're pushing $60, but you know what? As we get into this, we'll see. But I'm pretty positive it's worth every bit of that. On the nose, just getting some ethanol and like a fruit cherry. Pretty simple nose. I'm betting that it'll open up in the glass after a little bit here, but for now, she's pretty simple. Very ethanol forward, that 106 proof. Punching above its weight as far as ethanol on the nose. Starting to get a little graham cracker in there now. Dark fruit cherry, though, is kind of the name of the game on this one. It's pretty decently in that, squarely in that category. Let's go to the palate, see what that does, and then we'll come back to the nose, see if she changes at all. Palate's very dense, very rich. You get a bunch of sweet notes up front, definitely a vanilla and a caramel. Moves into a heavy, dense graham cracker, like almost like a graham cracker crust. If you're making a pie, you make a graham cracker crust, you get a little bit of that butter in there, and you bake it before you put any pie filling in it, and you have just that warm crust sitting there. Get a bit of that. And then you pick up just a slight bite of oak tanninness, a little bit of bitter astringency in there. It's kind of there and gone in a whiff of a second. And then for the finish, oh no, the water heater just turned on. You're probably going to hear in the background as my noise limiter, my noise gate that's on this recording software. It's going to pick me up when I talk, but it's probably going to cut that water heater out. So I apologize. Probably not going to reshoot this video. But we'll see how horrible it is. We'll mark it. We're at 4 minutes is about where that's going to pick up, unfortunately. But yeah, now all of a sudden I got deep graham cracker in the nose, and on the finish, so you got that astringency and stuff, and then you get a nice sweet vanilla that finished it out on the palate. Graham cracker in the nose. Back on the palate again. Sweet forward, fruit cherry in the middle, slight ding of astringent. Oak in there, and then just sweet vanilla to finish. Excellent whiskey, well balanced. Drinks way lighter than 106. This drink's more like an 85 proof. So you don't have to worry about that ethanol ding in there at all. It carries a lot of flavor with it. I think that pot distilling that they are doing is really, really helping them out. They are getting tremendous flavor out of this whiskey, especially for its age. Although, 4.5 years, I guess at a higher proof you'd suspect that you'd get quite a bit out of it. But man, graham cracker and vanilla now. We're going deep into those two smells. That time I got a little bit of like malty grainness up front, and that moved into a graham cracker on that. Excellent whiskey, definitely worth seeking out. Also something that is worth sitting and just kind of enjoying it. A lot of sweet notes in there, so if you're a fan of sweeter bourbons, this might be right up your alley. It does have oak in there that is discernible, so you know what, if you like oak, a slight bit of oak impact also might be a bottle you might be wanting to look into. $60, a bit of a gamble, but I have a lot of good stuff to say about this and absolutely no negatives. And from my reviews, and then also check out Starlight on the Whiskey Vault channel. Sorry, Daniel and Rex have reviewed several other whiskeys, all of which I have not. So you get a pretty good idea of what the Starlight Distillery is doing, and they were raving about them as well. So I think if you trust my palate, or if you trust their palate, you're going to be in for a treat. Sorry, I got something in my eye. You're going to be in for a treat if you pick up a bottle from Starlight Distillery. So, as always, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate all the support I've had so far. Drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of Starlight Double Oak for in your area, if you are able to find it. Subscribe to the channel if you're getting some out of this and enjoying it. Feel free to push these videos out to your friends, as I'm not on social media of any sort. So this is all word of mouth and YouTube algorithms and bitchute algorithms. And it is LifeandWhiskey on BitChute and YouTube, and life_and_whiskey on minds.com. And we'll see what we find on Rumble when I get around to making a channel on there. So there you have it. That'll be the last review for now. In the next couple of reviews, we're going to do the Lefroy 10 Sherry cask that my wife picked up, and Lefroy 10 cask strength that she picked up, along with this compass box sampler that she found. So we're going to be doing some scotches in the next couple of videos. I've had 2 whiskeys now that are 105, 106 proof, and then one that was in the 90s. So we're going to cut her there as we're done with the bourbons, and we're going to be fresh coming into the scotches. So that'll be the next batch of whiskeys that I do. As a little more filler content, there are 3 50 ml bottles in this sample pack, and we'll review each of them individually, and then we'll kind of compare them head to head as the sample box complete unit there. So that way, number one, I get more videos out of the same amount of alcohol. So that is going to be 3 different bottles there for a total of 4 videos. So that helps out for content, so I don't have to shell out more money. But also so that you get an individual review of what each bottle is like on its own, and then having a comparison is always nice to have. So we're going to do that, and that will take us through pretty much all the whiskey I have at this point. I may go back and we may hit this here, that Pine Bluff single malt that I've had, taking some flavor from the oak that I put in there. We'll probably experiment with that one and kind of do a compare-contrast of the stuff that I've imparted oak flavor into versus what is sitting in the bottle currently, as well. A couple of other things like that for some more content going forward. I'll probably show or share my updated hit list for both bourbon and for the scotches that I'm looking for. Kind of starting to get into the either really hard to find, very difficult to find bottles, or very pricey bottles. You're talking, you know, $100, $200, maybe even $300 for some of the bottles. So that's kind of my hit list. I'm starting to tamp down on volume as far as whiskeys go, although I need to make a trip out to the truck stop and a couple other liquor stores in town, as you know, it's fall and new releases are coming out pretty regularly here. So need to get out there. If you haven't already, go out there as well. Check out what is available newly to a shelf near you. See what kind of releases you can find. And anyways, there you go. Drop in the comments down below where you can buy a bottle of Starlight Double Oak 4. My wife picked this up. I would have to go back and look through, but I believe it was Total Wine for $59.99. So call it $60, just to kind of put you in the market there. Worth every penny in my opinion. I've struck out on a couple of bottles in the past in that price range that were nowhere near as good as this. So for $60, you should go out and pick up a bottle, so definitely do that. Yeah, we're going to end it there. So as always, thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.